Hey everyone, and welcome. So, if you're thinking you've already tried every crispy cauliflower recipe under the sun, I want you to get ready for a surprise. Today, I'm going to share my personal, completely foolproof method for the absolute crispiest, most flavorful cauliflower you've ever had. Seriously, this is the one. We're going to break it all down into 5 super simple stages. First, we'll talk about prepping the cauliflower. That's key. Then, we'll whip up a flavorful wet batter and the ultimate crispy coating. After that, we dive into the art of frying. And then, of course, the best part, serving and enjoying our delicious creation. And you know what? I stand by that, 100%. The texture and the flavor we're going to build here, it is a total game changer. It's so crispy, it's so delicious, and you'll be shocked at how simple it is. Ready to get cooking? Let's do this. Okay, first things first. It really, truly all begins right here. The secret to an amazing final dish is all in how you prep your cauliflower. If we nail this first step, we are setting ourselves up for total success. So when you're at the store, you're looking for a head of cauliflower that's nice and dense, with florets that are packed really tightly together. Once you get it home, the most important thing is to cut it into small, bite-sized pieces. Just remember this, smaller florets mean more surface area, and that means more of that incredible, crispy coating on every single bite. And of course, give them a good wash. Now get a pot of salted water boiling. I actually like to toss in a little pinch of cumin here for some extra flavor. Put your florets in, and this is super important, don't start your timer just yet. Wait for the water to come back to a full rolling boil with the cauliflower in it. From that point on, 5 minutes. That's the magic number. The second that timer goes off, drain the cauliflower immediately and spread the florets out in a single layer on a baking tray. This little trick is so critical. You don't want them piled up in a bowl because they'll just keep steaming each other and get mushy. Spreading them out lets them cool down properly and keeps that perfect texture intact. Perfect. While our cauliflower is cooling down, let's get to work on the heart of this dish, the wet batter. This is where we're going to pack in all of that incredible flavor. All right, so grab a large bowl. We're going to start with a really simple 1-to-1 ratio. 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour and 1.5 cups of milk. To that, we'll add 2 eggs. Any more, and it can kind of overwhelm the cauliflower, 2 tablespoons of cornstarch for that extra crisp, a couple of cloves of minced garlic, and a good handful of fresh, finely chopped cilantro. And now for the flavor bomb. We're adding 1 teaspoon each of salt, cumin, coriander, and our little secret weapon for lightness, baking powder. Then we'll do half a teaspoon each of chili powder for a little kick, black pepper, and turmeric for that beautiful golden color. I also love to add a teaspoon of vegetable stock powder for this amazing savory depth. But hey, that's optional. Pro tip for you, always mix your dry spices into the flour before you add the milk and eggs. That way the flavor gets distributed perfectly. Now, you're just going to whisk everything together until you have this smooth, creamy batter. Think pancake batter consistency. You want it thick enough to really cling to the cauliflower, but not so heavy that it's going to break those delicate little florets. If it feels a bit too thick, just splash in another tablespoon or 2 of milk. And that baking powder we added, that's going to react with the hot oil, creating these tiny little air bubbles that make the crust unbelievably light and airy. Okay, batter's done. Now, let's talk about that final layer of crunch, the dry coating. This, my friends, is what's going to give our cauliflower that insane, deeply satisfying, crispy exterior we're all after. So, in a separate shallow dish or a tray, we're going to combine 3 cups of all-purpose flour with 1 cup of cornstarch. Let's add another teaspoon of baking powder, a teaspoon of salt, and just a little more of our spice blend, so that's the chili, pepper, and turmeric. And hey, want to know a little secret from my kitchen? For that extra, shatteringly crisp texture, mix in about half a cup of crispy breadcrumbs. It's totally optional, but I highly recommend it. All right, team, this is it. We've got our cooled cauliflower, we've got our wet batter, and we've got our dry coating. It is time to bring it all together. I want you to set up your station right by the stove, because once we start, things are going to move pretty fast. Okay, for the best results, we're going to work 1 floret at a time. Take a piece, dip it in the wet batter, and let any excess just drip off for a second. Then it goes immediately into the dry mix. Gently toss it around about 10 times. It's this tossing motion that creates all those wonderful, craggy, uneven bits that get extra crispy. Shake off any loose flour, and then it goes straight into the hot oil. The key here is not to coat a bunch of pieces and let them sit around. It's coat, then fry, immediately. So here are the golden rules for perfect frying. You have to start with high heat. This creates an instant crust. And please do not overcrowd the pan.
Work in small batches, 2 or 3 is perfect, to keep that oil temperature up. And when they're done, don't drain them on paper towels, transfer them to a wire rack. This lets the air circulate all the way around, which keeps them perfectly crispy instead of letting them get all soggy on the bottom.
Let's walk through the actual frying process. You're going to gently place your coated florets into that shimmering hot oil. Now for the first 2 minutes, don't touch them. I know it's tempting, but you have to resist. This is so important for letting that crust set up properly. After those 2 minutes, you can start to gently turn them until they're a beautiful golden brown all over. This whole process should take about 5 minutes total. Then, it's straight onto that wire rack.
Your kitchen should be smelling absolutely phenomenal right about now. That gorgeous sizzle is dying down, and it is time for the moment we have all been waiting for. Let's talk about serving up this masterpiece.
Just listen to that. Can you hear it? That is the sound of success right there. What you've created is this beautiful, beautiful contrast of textures. You've got a perfectly crisp, golden brown outside, and when you bite into it, it gives way to this tender, fluffy cauliflower on the inside. It's just divine.
Now, there are so many amazing ways to eat this. I mean, it's fantastic just on its own, but a creamy tahini sauce for dipping is just a classic pairing. If you want a fresh touch, garnish it with some cilantro and diced tomatoes. Or, and this is my favorite, pile it into some warm pita bread with that tahini and tomatoes for the ultimate sandwich. And if you like a little heat, a few slices of hot pepper will add a really nice kick.
And there you have it. We took a humble head of cauliflower and turned it into something truly, truly special. It's crispy, it's flavorful, it is so satisfying. I really hope you give this one a try. And now that you've got these techniques in your back pocket, the only question left is, what delicious meal are you going to transform next?